Hey folks, Dale Davidson, the VA guy, coming at you today. Thank you for tuning in. So, look, if you, a friend or family member, is helping or taking care of a veteran, did you know that the VA could potentially help you as the caregiver there's a lot of different programs out there, and including a monthly stipend. So today we're this is a follow-up to a previous video on VA caregiver programs. So my understanding is that the VA caregiver programs have over 55,000 participants. And there's room for a lot more participants because there's a lot more veterans out there who need help. So there are basically two programs. One program is kind of a general caregiver support program, and then the other program is a comprehensive assistance. And we're going to go over the differences of those two today. So both of these programs offer all kinds of support services. The problem is that many people, number one, don't know about them. Number two, maybe don't understand the eligibility part and the steps that are needed. Hopefully we'll be able to answer those questions for you today. So, if you're a caregiver, you probably didn't even identify as a caregiver. You probably say, hey, this is my day job. I'm taking care of my spouse or I'm taking care of my loved one. This is just what I do. And I'm not worried about anything else. Well, we in the VA are worried about you because as the caregiver, we need to make sure that your health and well-being is being looked over and looked at so that you can take care of the veteran. Okay, so that's why we're here to talk about the caregiver program. So these two programs are designed to take care of you, the caregiver, and help you, the caregiver. According to the VA, caring for our veterans is not only a responsibility but a privilege. I would probably expand that to say caring for a spouse or caring for a loved one, regardless if they're a veteran or not, is a responsibility and a privilege. And so, we've got to take care of our caregivers. So there are many veterans that return from service with a physical or mental challenge that require ongoing care and support. So this is where caregivers come in. This is where the VA and everybody recognizes the critical roles of caregivers in our veterans' lives. Okay, so we're talking about the General Caregiver Support Program. They call it the GCSP. Okay, that provides essential resources like education and assistance to caregivers who support the veterans, who provide support for veterans at their homes. Okay, so here's a comprehensive look at what the VA General Caregiver Support Program looks like and how it benefits both caregivers and veterans. So the General Caregiver Support Program is designed to assist caregivers of, get this, eligible veterans who need personal care services, okay? Because the veteran has some kind of inability to perform one or more activities of daily living, okay? Activities of daily living, remember, are things like bathing, toileting, transportation, medication management, financial management, those kinds of things, okay? Transportation to and from medical, so it doesn't have to be just medical, okay? And also those who need supervision or protection based upon symptoms or residuals from some kind of neurological or other impairment or injury. Okay, and now this program is designed or aims to enhance you as the caregiver, enhance your skills, and provide you, the caregiver, with financial assistance, and also offer you respite care to ensure that you are taken care of. I mean, because again, we've got to take care of you, the caregiver, so you can take care of the veteran. Because we've got to sustain you so you can fulfill your role. Okay, so here are some of the key eligibility criteria for veterans under the General Caregiver Support Program. You got to be enrolled in the VA healthcare services, okay? Which means basically you've got to have an honorable discharge and served at least 24 months in the armed services, okay? And of course you've got to apply. So if you haven't applied to the VA healthcare services, you need to go ahead and apply, okay? Now there's some clinical eligibility criteria that the veterans got to meet, okay? And this is basically a need for regular and ongoing personal care services due to your inability to perform one or more activities of daily living. And we talked about those as being bathing, dressing, toileting, feeding, transportation to and from medical, okay? So this is not just a temporary thing. This is a regular and ongoing thing that you need. You need assistance with your activities of daily living, okay? Then there's a need for supervision or protection based on your symptoms, the veteran's symptoms, or residuals from some kind of neurological or other impairment or injury. And I'll give you an example of that. Maybe you have some kind of severe case of PTSD and you can't be around other people, or you have violent outbursts, whatever it may be, maybe some kind of schizophrenia, I don't know. So if you need close supervision by your spouse or a loved one, then that's one of the eligibility criteria. Now, another part of this is that you got to get permission from the VA. What do I mean by permission? Okay, so when you apply to the Caregiver Program, okay, there's got to be a need for these services, and it must be approved by a VA clinical team. Meaning that this VA clinical team takes all your C-file and all your medical records and all the documentation and all the evidence that you've provided them in your caregiver application and says yes or no, that yeah, you do qualify for this program or you don't. So that involves an assessment of your medical condition and the impact of your disability on your ability to function independently. Again, in severe cases of PTSD or schizophrenia or some other mental condition, if you can't go out in the world and you can't go to the grocery store, you can't do certain things, you're confined to your home, then that's going to really affect your ability to live independently. Okay. Now, there's no service limit, okay, or restriction based upon when you served for the general Caregiver Support Program. Okay, there will be, and we'll discuss it in the comprehensive, but there is no restriction based upon the era of when you served as the veteran as to eligibility for this program. So that was the criteria of eligibility for veterans. Now, caregivers, you got to meet specific criteria to qualify for the General Caregiver Support Program also. Okay? Now, caregivers, you got to be a family member or other individual who has a close personal relationship with the veteran. So you can't go out there and hire some kind of home care service and qualify as a caregiver under this program. Okay? That's basically it. You got to be a family member or an individual who has a close personal relationship. Now, if you're not a family member, you got to submit documentation of that close personal relationship. Maybe you're a cousin or a very dear friend or whatever it may be, but you got to have some kind of close personal relationship. And of course, veterans, you've got to be, again, basic requirement, got to be in the VA Healthcare Services program means honorable discharge and served at least 24 months, not hours. Heck, okay. So, what services and support does this program provide you as the caregiver? They give you training. For instance, education and training programs are available to you to help you in your caregiving skills, okay? I don't know if these are online courses. I would imagine they are. But this would include training on personal care, managing medications, and handling emergency situations. Okay. One of the biggest benefits is they give you a monthly stipend based upon the veteran's need and your time commitment. I mean, think about this. If you're a caregiver, you're not able to go out and work your job because now your job is providing care for your veteran. So they will give you money based upon how much time and the veteran's disability that you're providing for the veteran. Okay. Now, they'll give you respite care. Okay. Now, this is great. I mean, you need a weekend off. Okay. You need some time off because, you're the caregiver and we need to take care of you as the caregiver. An example of that is, according to the Alzheimer's Association, 70% of all caregivers will pass away before the person they are caring for passes. Why? Because of they call it caregiver stress. So this respite care helps alleviate some of that caregiver stress. They'll also provide you some mental health counseling, which again helps with the caregiver stress because there's a lot of emotional and psychological challenges associated with caregiving of a veteran, especially somebody who has some severe mental issues. So we're going to talk about how to apply when we talk about the comprehensive caregiver support program. So let me just recap here for the general caregiver support program, the benefits. Now, we talk about improved quality of life because you, as the caregiver, are receiving support and resources to help you provide better care. And that hopefully that care is better for the veteran because that veteran doesn't have to go to an institution and stay at home. All right? You also get the stipend through the program to help alleviate financial burdens. Now, certainly the veteran's getting his or her disability payment, but a lot of times that's just not enough for a two-person household to handle. So the stipend really helps out. Okay, and then you've got enhanced care coordination between you and your veteran, and these are all coordinated through the veteran services, such as integrated support for the veteran's health needs, etc. So that is the general caregiver support program. Let's jump into the comprehensive caregiver support program. And this program is, again, caring for veterans, okay, who have been have some kind of severe physical, emotional issues, okay, that they have been severely injured or they have some kind of severe emotional issues, okay? Because caring for people who are extensively injured or have these kind of emotional issues are physically, emotionally, and financially demanding. So the VA provides extensive resources, training, financial assistance, and support to you as the caregiver to assist veterans with, they call it complex care needs, not just activities of daily living. This is way above the activities of daily living. We're talking about activities of daily living on steroids, okay, because of the severe injuries. Maybe you've got somebody who has confined to a wheelchair and can't do a lot of those things, and so you're having to help that individual not only with activities of daily living, but other things that go far and above that. So this support program is, again, for complex care. So the comprehensive caregiver support program I just said it's like the general caregiver support program on steroids, okay? Again, it covers eligible veterans who require ongoing care due to, they call it serious injury or illness incurred or aggravated during military service on or after September 11, 2001. Now remember, the general program doesn't have that time frame. Only the Comprehensive Caregiver Support Program has that time frame that says if you've got a serious injury or illness that it was incurred or aggravated during your military service on or after September 11, 2001, then you would potentially qualify for the Comprehensive Caregiver Support Program. So let's look at the eligibility criteria. Now you've got to have a serious injury or illness, okay? And you must have incurred or aggravated that serious injury or illness during your military service on or after September 11, 2001. Now, a serious injury or illness could include a whole slew of things, including maybe a traumatic brain injury, a psychological trauma, maybe a spinal cord injury, or other serious impairment that require personal care services. You, the veteran, must require personal care services. This isn't optional. You've got to have them, okay, due to your inability to perform one or more activities of daily living, okay? Or you need supervision or protection based upon symptoms of your serious injury or illness, okay? Because of some kind of neurological or other impairment or injury. I give you this is a simple example, but it deals with people with dementia. If somebody has dementia, they need constant, if they're at home, they actually need constant supervision and protection. Because you don't want somebody with dementia going on and trying to cook food, and then they're all of a sudden put the pot on the stove and forget about it, and all of a sudden creates they forget about it and it starts a fire. We don't want that. So that's what we're talking about. You've got to have supervision, and you need to protect these people because of their serious impairments. You've got to be enrolled in the VA healthcare system. Again, honorable discharge and served at least 24 months. That's basic criteria. Just like the general caregiver support program, you got to get permission, or you got to get approval by a clinical team from the VA. Okay? This is where, when you are applying, where we would put together all of the evidence of your need because of your serious injury or illness, of your need, or your not need, but a requirement for personal care services because you can't perform ADLs or you need supervision or protection. So this is where we put together all the evidence, all the medical evidence, everything you got, and you show the VA clinical team that this is a need, not a want. Okay? I got to have this in order to live. So caregivers have specific criteria to qualify for the VA, just like veterans. Okay? And just like the general program, these comprehensive program says caregivers must be family members or other individuals who have a close personal relationship with the veteran. Okay? Close personal. If you're not a family member, you have a close personal relationship with the veteran, we need the information and proof and evidence to submit to the VA team. Okay? Again, the veteran, you've got to be enrolled in the VA healthcare services and meet other eligibility requirements. And then remember, unlike the general program, the comprehensive says that you've had your injury or aggravation of injury on or after, well, during service, on or after September 11th, 2001. Okay? So that's the only program that, between the two, that has that specific date in there, September 11th, 2001. So Again, the Comprehensive Caregiver Support Program provides everything that the General Caregiver Support Program provides, just on a larger scale. It gives you comprehensive training, education, okay? Again, we're talking about caregiving courses, understanding the veteran's medical condition, providing personal care, managing medications, handling medications, all of these kinds of things, as well as, what do you do in an emergency, okay? Then you may be eligible for a monthly stipend. Again, that depends upon the severity of the veteran's disability and your time commitment to the veteran. And then, of course, we get the respite care, which is really nice, okay? Because, again, that provides you with temporary relief from your caregiving responsibilities. Maybe you need a weekend off. Maybe you just need a night off. Whatever it is, you can take care of those personal things and get your batteries recharged. So we also have mental health counseling, which is nice. But one of the big differences between the general and the comprehensive programs is that caregivers who are enrolled in this program may be eligible for comprehensive health care coverage through CHAMP VA. That Civilian Health and Medical Program, so CHAMP VA. So if you're not already covered by other health insurance, you may be eligible for that. So that's a big bonus too. So with either program, how do you apply? Well, you go and you contact the VA Medical Center's Caregiver Support Coordinator and apply through that individual or that department. Okay, that coordinator will guide caregivers through the application process, assess your eligibility based on clinical records, and help you through the whole process. Of course, as always, if you don't get any satisfaction there, you're always welcome to contact us or contact anybody out there who specializes in VA disability claims. So, again, the benefits of this program: enhanced quality of life. You get a financial stipend. You have improved care coordination. You have counseling, and you have your health care coverage. So those are some big benefits for the comprehensive program. Of course, you don't get the health care coverage in the general, but you do in the comprehensive. Okay, so I've gone over the general caregiver support program and the comprehensive caregiver support program. So let me give you kind of a little synopsis of the differences between the two. The general caregiver support program covers caregivers of veterans from any period, any era, as long as you meet those specific clinical criteria. However, the comprehensive program is limited to caregivers of post 9/11 veterans with serious injuries or illnesses. Okay, that's where that post 9/11 date comes in. That's a big difference. While both programs offer caregiver training, financial support, respite care, and mental health counseling, the comprehensive program extends additional benefits such as comprehensive health insurance care coverage through CHAMP VA. And that could be a big benefit. And then, of course, they both provide a stipend, although the comprehensive may provide an enhanced financial support compared to the stipend through the general. Okay. In conclusion, both the VA General Caregiver Support Program and the Comprehensive Caregiver Support Program play critical roles in supporting you as the caregiver, because we need to support you as the caregiver in order for you to take care of the veteran. Hey folks, thank you for watching. Hey, check out this Veteran Caregiver Assistant Programs, stipends, and more for more information. So until next time, you be blessed.